Well, happy Friday to my dragon family. Good to see everyone. We've got sunshine again after our mountain range. just here, we're right in the foothills here in Reno. 7 feet, over 7 feet, almost 8 feet of snow up there. We're going skiing later. Excited to see how different the mountain looks with that much in one storm. Makes me nervous, when they get that much about skiing near the trees because of the tree well factor when you've got that big of a fall-in created. Anyway, glad to see the sun. It's all melted around our area here in town, but looking forward to seeing some sunshine here. I can see it out my windows. Absolutely beautiful day. So hope you guys are having a great Friday wherever you are. Haven't had a chance to come on again yet this week, so I thought, well, let's go live today and just feel the energies moving into the weekend. What can you guys focus on over the weekend when you've got your free time? You've got your time to go in and clear and focus and ask those deeper questions, go into contemplation. So one of the things that's come up, realizing that I've got this Entering the Dragon Realms course coming up March 26th. It's a new 6-week program. It's offered as an online self-study program. That's when it was originally created. That covers a lot of the information we used to discuss in our book clubs over 6 weeks. Basic questions that everyone always would come in with. And the nice thing is being able to do it as a small group format. We get the exponential aspect of group energy. And that's always the benefit of doing it as a group together because you just get so much more out of it. You move forward more quickly. And I realized, a lot of people, especially when I talk about the quantum flight and the different programs in the past, are ready to really leap forward. They're ready for big jumps, but there's so many that are coming in now because we're popping open, like so much of humanity is popping open to the dragons right now. We're at the end of the year of the dragon. It's in everybody's consciousness. It's gone mainstream. So there are a lot that are just coming in going, I don't even know where to start with the dragons. I don't know what to do. And what's interesting is even those that have gone really far and moved into very high vibrational spaces, particularly like through the quantum flight program, are realizing, wow, it would be really great to go and circle back around and really get my foundation with the elementals. And that's what we're going to be doing in that class. So I've been feeling, oddly enough, this morning when I got dressed, I always dress for the energy. This shirt doesn't call often. I'm not a big orange person. And it's more yellow-orange. And the symbol pendant of the air dragons was also calling me out of my space where I have them all. So I don't have the air dragon canvas. So I went ahead and put citrine, which is a similar energy upline. And fire dragon, who's also one of our key elementals. So the earth, air, fire, and water. And I wanted to just touch in. I feel like, particularly with the air dragons come in for choice point. They come in to help us get clarity. It's about wisdom, mental clarity, letting go of belief systems. And they're the ones to really focus on when you have decision points. And I feel like the collective is at a decision point, that there's this movement forward that's been calling for an alignment to truth. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, and moving towards that pillar of truth, both within and without, that it comes to, all right, if I'm going to align with truth, I'm at a choice point. And that's where I need to really allow the wisdom of my higher self to guide me forward through this. And that's what the air dragons bring. That's what they come in to do. So when we go back and initiate into, for example, the air dragons, elementally, it gives us that foundation, and this is what all the elementals do for us, and why I'm going to focus there. And even I'll address this because it's coming in right now as well. There are people that are still reading the book that, it's getting downloaded consistently, ordered through Amazon, whatever way you're getting the books. When the book was written in 2007, there was a very specific order that, because where we're at energetically, had to roll out in that way to get people on track with where they could open to the next pieces. And for years now, it's been really about follow your inner guidance. So I want to touch on that because the elementals are our foundation to go back to. And it's always very important. And this is why I did it in the Way of the Dragonheart program. We started core foundation because at some point you need to circle back to them. Doesn't mean you always have to start with them. But when you're working through the material, if you have the book, allow yourself to follow your intuition. Everything is about heart truth right now. Everything is about your heart alignment. Who needs to work with you? It might be a very high octave and then back to a foundation, and then going up to something in between, and then back to a foundation, and then jumping up really high. So follow the track that works for you. But in understanding and knowing, why do we need to always go back and circle back to that elemental foundation? And for those that like to do things in order, starting here, this is a great time, especially with a program coming up where we're diving into that. So what the elementals actually do for us, if you logically think, and this, it's funny because I can feel myself saying logically think, but all my energy's in my heart, because this is where the heart starts to rule and be the communicator and the thinker and the feeler. And when we start to move forward and need that assistance to break free from the ties that bind us in 3D, the elementals are the closest vibrational range to us because they're part of this sphere. We are elemental. We're made of elemental matter. They are within elemental matter, so they are also part of that. And so that vibrational sequencing is what gets them the closest proximity range to actually touch into our bodies in the most direct way, I would say. We feel a lot of direct connection with and movement of energy when we work with higher vibrational dragons. And even when they come in first, you can feel it as a higher octave, like really working on the energy bodies, and particularly the 5th and 6th dimensional bodies, just really allowing them to open and trickle down this way. Well, the elementals take us in through the physical, through the mental, the lowest vibrational bodies, and really help us pull stuff out of there. And that's where we're most entrenched. If we're at a choice point, and I think I mentioned this in the last couple of weeks as well, that solstice in December moved us into the actual splitting. The bifurcation has been present, but it's been both available. Well, they're actually starting to split now, which forces the choice point, which allows, like, all right, it's time. Are you going this way or are you going this way? What are you doing? So in that, the physical and mental bodies being the lowest densest, it's about working from the bottom up so that, yes, high vibrational pulling from this side, lower vibrational, the closest to us, working from this side, so that we get all the clearings on all levels to unentrap, odd new word, unentrap our lower dimensional bodies, the physical and the mental, which are the slowest, lowest, densest within us, unstuck in the mud, so to speak. They're really, really linchpinned into 3D reality. It's what keeps us entrenched within the buy-in into this as a reality matrix. And so if we have the assistance of the air dragon that works particularly on the mental body, and the fire dragon to burn up and through the energy body, and the air dragon to work in the emotional body, and the physical, or the earth dragon to work through the physical body, that's where they come in as a team. And the beauty is that because they're so vibrationally close to us, they're working in both male and female roles. We have that delineated even in the book. It talks about that the elementals, the black and the white dragons, all come in pairs because they've gone through that split just like we have. We've split from our original merged self, our state of union. That's our highest divine human blueprint. We've dropped down. We've had to polarize to experience this field. And now we've got to bring it back together. We've got to merge it back in. And so we have the benefit of not just a singular air dragon perspective, but we have the male and the female because we have different parts. I might need more of the female air dragon and the male fire dragon, and maybe the male earth dragon and the female water dragon. I'm going to have different components with each that need that specific piece that they bring, that they unlock. And they do unlock a lot for us. And that's the other piece of working with the elementals, because they're so vibrationally close. It's like they hold those keys to open the matter, to help us release and unchain ourselves from it. So just wanted to bring that in because it's a big part of, one, this choice point we're moving towards. We have to be very clear. Our mental body, our physical body, our emotional body, our energy body, they all have to be very clear and synchronized in that unified choice point of going towards ascension. And they have to be energetically ready for that. So here we are coming into that. That's why I feel the air dragon's so present, most particularly of the elementals, at least with me today, of feeling that movement towards higher wisdom, the ability to hear it, feel it, the heart knowing, And how do I trust that? And how do I let go of all the other pieces that would block me from that highest choice point? The little parts of me that maybe are stuck in a false belief, that are stuck in an expectation, that are stuck in fear pattern. It's all mental programming, and we just got to unwind it. So that's a big part of what we're going to be doing in the program. Whether you take it or not, benefit from focusing on the elementals right now and what they have to bring for you. And if you don't know how to do that, I do the discovery calls, get you started with answering questions like which direction do you go, what's going on for you. But the deck, the book, the guided meditations, they're all amazing tools for you to get there, whether you want to work on your own online in a course or in a small group in a course. There's so many ways to get there. So I'm feeling also drawn to pull a card today. So I'll be curious what it is. This is how I work with my deck, is I shuffle it around, but then I hold. And rather than letting cards fall out, because I'm so attuned to feeling energy, I let myself feel where it's wanting to split, where it's wanting to break. And I get honed in on that, and then I allow the cards to split. Ooh, and it's splitting twice. That's interesting. So I've got 2 splits happening here. I knew he wanted to be in this sphere this morning. That's very funny. So here's the fire dragon. We were just talking about that, working with the energy body. And the fire dragon is your purification, clearing, and propulsion. That this is really like the fire to get it under your butt, to start moving forward, get on your work or whatever needs to happen. I love that he's definitely stepped in a very vivid way. And so I think that's why I was feeling this. Yes, the air dragons have an orangey element to it, but there was this oomph of fire capacity within. And so I knew he wanted to be in the sphere today. That's very funny. And then we have the peridot dragon also jumping forth. So that's very interesting, because the peridot dragon is about transparency and is also part of that higher lineage within the wisdom field, which is the air dragon's field. And going into full transparency, unabashed, really, really willing to be open. So what does that mean when they're together with what I've been referencing and discussing already? This shows me that it's the quality of transparency. The peridot dragon is trying to step forward and show that the quality of transparency with yourself is going to be the greatest assistance for you as you dive in with the elemental dragons. That they're going to show you some very base stuff. And it doesn't matter where you are on your path. I have people that have finished my Quantum Flight program that are actually signing up for the Entering the Dragon Realms program because they want to go and circle back into a direct initiation with those. Even though we did it as a full lineage earlier, it's like that individual work is drawing specific people. They know to go back and need it. So when you're going back into that work, allow yourself to really call forward and intend fullest level of transparency with yourself you can. And ask, how can I be more transparent with myself? How can I be more open to seeing what I really need to see? And just allow their magic to work. So love that message for the weekend. That opens all kinds of gates for where you guys can go this weekend with your meditations, contemplations, time out in nature. You might actually feel really called. And I think that's why I'm feeling really called, like to be out in the sun, be out on the mountain, get outdoors today. I feel the elements calling me, and I'm going to be watching for sunbows today, because I remember this happening several years ago, and I went out and I got photographs of it. It was the most incredible sunbow I'd ever experienced when I was riding up the ski lift, and there was a full 360-degree rainbow all the way around the sun. And that was about 3-4 years ago, and it was happening. It was right after that big event in March of, I want to say 21, if that's right. When all the rainbow energy started really filtering in. So feel like we're at a big shift point. Very excited to go out and just see and feel the elements around me today. I wish that for you guys. Sending you huge hugs of gratitude for being present. I love connecting with my dragon family. I see Chris and I haven't seen you pop up in a while. Nice to see you up in northern of the States. Anyway, wishing you guys a great one. If you have questions about any of the stuff that I do, the new Middle Earth Dragon meditations, the program, pop an email to me at araya@dragonwithin. You guys know where to find me, and I'm always responsive to those. So we'll see you next week sometime. Have a great one, guys. Bye for now.